Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Fenell, founder and CEO of Chiropractic Hand and Foot Clinics of America, and I'm excited to be on here with you guys today. I've got a special doctor from Chesterfield, Missouri. It's Dr. Brian Laiderman, and you're going to learn some really interesting aspects about carpal tunnel syndrome and wrist problems in general. So if you suffer with a hand problem, I'm glad you're here today. He's going to kind of enlighten you to some new things. Dr. Laiderman, it's good to have you on our show today. Why don't you just kind of introduce yourself and tell us about your practice?
Hey, I'm Dr. Brian Laiderman. I'm the owner of Optimal Performance Center, and we like to have a special emphasis on treating sports medicine and internal health disorders, from anything from the high school athlete, collegiate athlete, to Olympic athlete, as well as including your weekend warriors and the athletes' families.
Great. So, Dr. Laiderman, I understand you consider yourself a hand and foot chiropractor, and that's kind of an interesting concept. So, I'd like to ask you about that. What got you interested in focusing on hands and feet? And I'm assuming you do adjustments to the hands and feet as a chiropractor. Secondly, how's that been received in your community, such a unique niche?
That's an interesting question. A lot of the times when you're dealing with a sports-based patient, obviously everything controls running and or throwing or shooting and or use of the arms. And so when I was getting to think about it, over 51% of the bones in the body are in the hands and the feet. And so what ends up happening is typically a chiropractor generally treats the spine, the neck, the back, and there isn't very much emphasis on the extremities. So it gave us an opportunity to say, hey, everybody's got 2 hands and 2 feet, and those all need work, especially since the new smoking is sitting at a desk and typing on a computer. We always want to make sure that we're taking care of the essentials that help us get through a day-to-day activity. So a lot of the times the athletes have foot injuries or have hand injuries, and it's detrimental to their career or detrimental to a professional career for a job perspective. So our patients love it. They absolutely love getting their hands and feet adjusted. They always come back asking for more. We get the very funny responses in regards to the fact that they now finally actually feel their hands, or they can feel their feet move appropriately, or they feel light in weight, and very, very fun results.
That's excellent. So, carpal tunnel syndrome is a big media word. We've heard about it for over a decade now, going on a couple of decades, and it's quite a bit longer than that, actually. But tell us about carpal tunnel syndrome specifically, because there's so many people that are concerned about that condition. How you treat that in your practice, and do you feel that your treatment is a good alternative to surgery?
Absolutely. Yeah, we use a non-surgical approach to correct carpal tunnel syndrome. And, understanding the anatomy of what makes up the carpal tunnel is extremely important and beneficial when it comes to actually treating carpal tunnel syndrome. So, generally speaking, the carpal bone sits right here on your wrist, and it allows flexion and extension throughout any kind of motion, rotation. And so the bones basically sit in a U horseshoe-shaped object, and all the bones are sitting in here. And then on top of all the bones, you have tendons, and you have one big nerve, which is called the median nerve, which generally is the problem of where we get into carpal tunnel syndrome, which is basically it gets inflamed and irritated and messes with the rest of the system. So what we typically do is we go in and actually manipulate the individual bones within the carpal tunnel, allowing it to free up space. So if you imagine a horseshoe with all the bones in it, and then all of a sudden you impinge that's going to irritate everything in the structure. So what we do is basically rearrange these little bones to open that tunnel back up so that it relieves and alleviates any kind of numbness, tingling, weakness sometimes that you get in your fingertips or your hands.
That's great. So that seems like something people from your community would really want to have done if they were suffering with a hand problem of sorts or carpal tunnel syndrome. How can the folks in your community find you and contact you there at your practice?
Yeah, so we can be reached at online at www.stlopc.com, or we are located in Chesterfield, Missouri. We treat patients from all over St. Louis and all over the surrounding areas of St. Louis. Many patients drive over hours to get to our office, and on a general basis, they're driving between 30 minutes to an hour to come and get these treatments. We can be reached. Our address is 219 Chesterfield Town Center, Chesterfield, Missouri at 63005. We can be reached by phone at 636-778-9997 and or online.
Great. Well, thank you. There you have it. Dr. Brian Laiderman, hand and foot chiropractor, full body chiropractor in Chesterfield, Missouri. Dr. Laiderman, I want to thank you for being with us here today, and I'm sure our viewers enjoyed this. You have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You too.